Well, it's January, and that tells you one of two things. One, making a top 10 list. Two, crappy movies are back. Though, to be fair, January is what we refer to as the dumping grounds of movies, and Escape Room is basically that, a dumping ground movie. However, where I've usually seen god-awful movies around this time of year, this one was, albeit in the beginning, actually very nice and very suspenseful. In fact, there's one way I could, with the way it's set up, you could work it a little bit so that way, it would make sense and you could actually have a good ending at the end of this. Especially with how everyone's set up in their different backstories. So, the premise of Escape Room is basically what you see, except there's one big difference. And, honestly, the change makes a lot more sense. In all the trailers, they mentioned that it's for $1 million, and even in the promotional tag, it's for $1 million if you can escape. That should raise enough red flags to me as it is. But in the movie, they make it $10,000, which you don't know how much money this was put in, you don't know how much was actually put into this. So, yeah, it could make sense, $10,000 jack prize to the first person who can escape the entire thing. And, yeah, look, the beginning of the movie is actually really good, where everyone's being introduced to each other, and most of the characters are actually likable. Danny gets a little bit annoying, and James is revealed. You can pretty much tell from his backstory and the way he handles himself, you can tell how things are going to go for him. But the rest of the cast, I actually enjoyed it. Mike was a lovable, basic, average American dad who was just trying to do this to help get some money into his bank account. Zoe's a bookworm who doesn't know anything, and I think his name was Ben. I think it was Ben. Ben was basically the guy who was, he survived, which all these people have that in common. They're survivors of some manner, shape, or form, and the way they bring it out. Now, it's clear you could tell who are like the main people, because you can tell who's there to last long and who's there to be killed. But, for the majority of the time, you actually, sympathize with these people, and you kind of want to see them all survive. However, this game is... yeah, alright. The premise of this is that they're going to go from room to room and try to escape, otherwise they're going to get killed. Look, if you've seen the movie The Prism, or I think it's called The Cube, one of those, where basically it's a 10 rooms by 10 rooms by 10 rooms. It's basically a giant cube, and you gotta escape the whole thing. And there's 1,000 rooms with 1,000 ways to die in them. Though, granted, I think you only see like 50 of them, I want to say, but it's been a while since I've seen that movie. It was like from the 1980s. And if this is the spiritual successor to it, it's pretty nice. You actually feel like you're in the escape room with them, and you want to figure out the clues, you want to see around. And, not gonna lie, from a person who's seen a couple of escape rooms, videos and all that stuff, and actually wanted to do a couple, they kind of seem fun when you take away the whole, death aspect of it. And, yeah, which brings me to the biggest problem with this. Spoiler for ahead, if you want to know my opinion of the movie, fine, Netflix, Redbox, this ain't worth a matinee or anything like that. Oh, be careful, man. Okay, I'll get to that in a second for the second to last room. But first off, the whole premise of killing these people. Okay, with Unfriended, you can get away with the whole secret organization of millionaires ruling the world, and killing people from behind the scenes. Here, though, there's a lot of things you do and a lot of things that's going to get traced back to you. I don't care how much money you have, unless you're freaking worth $1 billion, keyword on the B, $1 billion. There's no way you're going to be able to backtrack all this stuff, take up the amount of hush money. Also, here's the thing. Tell someone, hey, I'm going to do this. Seriously, I know they're low survivors and everything, but they had friends. Seriously, all you got to do for Zoe is to tell a roommate, oh, hey, I got this box. It's basically, I'm going to go to this escape room thing, this website, which is on my browser history. Seriously. Especially when it gets to the end and it's revealed all the people who, survive and people who die, there's all these trace elements. You basically know that there's an issue with all these, right? Like, there's evidence to track that this would not make sense. I don't care how much money you have, there's physical evidence. Unless you plan on bribing the entire police force of the United States, including the FBI and the CIA, because, yeah, some of this stuff is that high in government problems. Literally, you're not going to get away with this. Unfriended was stupid, but at least you could condense it to the part where it could be stupid. Here's my thing. And if you had kept the exact same premise through the first, I would say almost half of this film, over half of this film actually, you were good, is when they got to the third, second, and last room. third to last, basically. Third to last, it's revealed that this is all survivor's guilt. Which, fine, that's a good premise, seeing who's the top survivor. Maybe you could actually work this into something different. Maybe it's a new type of experiment to see if you can get over the concept of death. Because really, they mention a game master. And Danny's the first to die, and basically, he doesn't provide the most background to them and provides just the most, obvious lore. So when he goes, it makes sense. Maybe he's the game master. Then the second chick who dies, she falls. You could fake it. There's very easy ways to do a fake Dropbox and then make it look like they actually fall farther than they do. Movies do it all the time. So, yeah, you could have faked it for them to make it think that they were losing people again, but maybe they overcome it. Then the third to last room when the dramatic reveal's revealed, which is already revealed in the trailer. So, yeah, they all have survivor's guilt. Except for one of them actually killed somebody. But they all have all this intricate knowledge of them, their backstory. What was playing on the damn radio when somebody died? Really? Were you there? Was the old boy in the hospital like going, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer is the song I killed all my friends to? Yeah, I don't think he was saying that. It just would have made much more sense if the family of the people, because I mentioned they were sent by different people. They were trying to help them get over the survivor's guilt, help them get over it, because there's different stages of grief. And best way to, move on. I'm sorry, but if you're going to make this thing PG-13 and not go for the hard R with all the craziness that you could possibly do, you really, really need to just do something else. Make it different. Make it a twist. You know what? That would have been an amazing twist at the end. It was all revealed because it's laid out in the beginning that all these people need something to move on. And overcoming something like this could be it. Maybe some of the people could be in on it. Maybe they could be actors. Maybe the three main characters we see are the three that, need to move on. It would kind of make sense if you got a partner proxy, but just, then it's revealed at the end, and you can kind of tell, but you're hoping for something more. I mean, first off, you hope most of these people survive, and then one of them gets killed in literally the most wow ways possible. Like, you didn't even need to kill this person, especially since you've proven you're able to do something akin to this. And at the end, when old girl's going to go after them, she mentions she's going to go on a plane. Why? Why would you? First off, if you are the evil organization tracking all these people and you know that she's there and they do track information, I got a question for you. Why, of all things, why would you actually try to kill her with a plane to take out a bunch of people? Look, I know the whole example is if you want to hide a murder, hide it with a bomb. Sherlock Holmes for you, by the way. But literally, this makes no sense. And I'm sorry, but I kind of have to bring logic and reasoning to this because the beginning is actually enjoyable. The suspense, the setup, the characters' interaction with each other. It's really good, and then it just goes into cliche. Which, yeah, that's worthy of a January movie, if anything else. And I mean, is there really anything that bad about it except for the cliche at the end? Not really. The rooms were interesting to say the least. The gimmicks were actually really clever, and you could follow along with the clues to some regard to figure out. Now, granted, they get a little more crazy as time goes on, but yeah. It was just one of those movies, guys. I was expecting worse. I got average, so yeah. It's going to be one of those, I'm going to see it, I'm going to forget it, and I'm going to go through my list at the end of the year and realize, oh yeah, this was a thing. It's not really bad, it's not really good. Like I said, get a couple of friends together, get some beers if you're old enough to drink, get some chips and pretzels and watch this on Netflix or Redbox and riff along with it. Hell, if you really want that suspense, the suspense is actually really good in the beginning, so there's that. Which I feel bad for. As much as I'm bashing this movie, the first half I actually was enjoying. I didn't even want to get up to go to the bathroom for most of it. Then the cliches started happening, then the gimmick of you feel this thing is rigged against them. And it's just, once again, shady organization that runs everything. And then there's some BS PSA at the end about how since the dawn of time, humans enjoyed watching other humans kill each other. Look, Schadenfreude is people hurting themselves, watching other people get hurt. Not killing. There's a limit to that. And yeah, the blood sport thing we did enjoy, but, for the most part, we've moved beyond that. We've basically moved beyond the point where we're enjoying watching people kill themselves. watching people slowly kill themselves watching horrible movies, I mean, that's still, look at YouTube. But, yeah. Like I said, guys, not much to this one. Wish there was better. Turns out it wasn't. Welcome to 2019 and hello January. Should be making the top 10 videos. I got the list for the top 10 worst set up. I want to do the best first, and it's really tough for the number 1 and 2 spots. It really is. I thought it was going to be easy, but nope. Also tough to figure out the bottom 3, because the bottom mid-tier are actually pretty decent, but no. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next one, and as always, I'm Kevin Riley signing off, and I'll see you all next time. Later.